What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Guys of Texas, episode 6. Time is now 7:30, and OU still sucks, boys.
That's right.
Let's
It's
go.
it's Red River Week. Finally, we're finally here. Welcome everybody. Make sure to hit the subscribe button. Make sure to like us on Twitter. Oh, I almost got it this time. Like us on Twitter, like us on Instagram. Yep. See, it's not so easy. Thank you guys for joining us. We really appreciate your support. Kansas got the dub again. We started out strong. Defense looked good. Yes, Kansas played with their backup quarterback. We know. So I think overall everything was good. Quinn finally got the interception monkey off his back. I saw the stat line pop up during the game. I was like, all right, we're going to need to get this to go away now before next week because I'm not going to be able to see that on the TV all day.
Yeah.
But overall, everything looked good. What did you guys think of the game?
I ended up going to the game, and it was fun.
That's right.
The atmosphere turned out awesome. I hadn't been this season so far. Man, people were rowdy. It was a good time. I was super disappointed that Daniels didn't play. I didn't get the notification until probably like 3 minutes before kickoff, and then just you could tell people kind of like tuned out for the first quarter or so just because of that. The excitement level definitely dropped, but everybody still performed and did what they needed to do, and it was a good time.
Did we ever hear? Was it back tightness? Is that what it was?
Yeah, that's what they were saying. Back stiffness that held him out. It's kind of strange. I mean, it's not like Bean is one of those guys that's just some no-name stepping in. I mean,
right.
Bean's one of those guys that's been there for a long time and seen a lot of playing time. So, I mean, I think he handled it decently well for being thrown into the freaking starting role an hour before the game. So, yeah,
I think he scrambled well. I mean, he looked okay for the role he got stepped into, but
I mean, it felt like we kind of had some slow starts. I mean, it was just one of those again. I mean, we look at the missed field goal, and there's a couple of things that you can look at negatively, but I mean, going into half, it just felt like, man, we're dominating this game, but we're only up 6 points right now. And then you look at the final stats. I mean, 661 total yards. I think they said that's the highest total yards we've had in a Big 12 game since we played Texas Tech with Pat Mahomes there. So,
well, we only had, I think, 2 touchdowns. We had like 330 passing yards. It was like, okay.
What is
kind of bizarre?
Okay, let's not. We're going to start this already.
I don't want to.
But I'll tell you, I know I'm on the same page because when he missed the first one, I went, uh-oh. And when I was like, here we go.
It's just I don't trust him at all, and I know that's going to come back to bite us at some point because you have to have a kicker, and going 2 for 4. I mean, I know one of those was like his career long, so it's like I'll give you a pass on that. But I was texting you guys, and I was like, dude, even these extra points, I'm not confident about right now.
I feel like this happened around the same time last year. I feel like it was right before the Oklahoma game. He started like getting a little shaky, and then it started going the same direction throughout the rest of the year for Auburn. And he looked okay this year, but he's going to have to fight his demons again because that's what's going to boil down. I feel like that's what worries me for next week is we're going to need some field goals at some point. We're not going to blow them out next year or this coming week like we did last year. Okay. But also Bijan Hu, because Brooks is here to stay, boys. Dude, holy cow.
Breaking off those big ones, man.
Dude, he looks confident, like super confident right now taking that role. I mean, the way he was hitting those holes and the speed, we all know about the power with him, but that speed to get to that next level was impressive on this game.
Yeah, Baxter came in a few plays. I mean, Baxter had 15 carries, but he couldn't find the holes like Brooks was doing. Like Brooks is something special. And Baxter is too, but I think Baxter still needs some experience.
Yeah, Baxter's just going to take some time for sure. But yeah, it seemed like a couple of times his vision just wasn't quite there. Brooks seemed really patient, and it seemed like he was just always finding that hole. I mean, dude, all day I feel like we could run the ball. Like I was texting a couple of my friends, and I'm like, dude, we just got to keep running the ball. Like we dominated on the ground, which was great to see. And then you look up and you see Quinn have 325 yards, which it felt quiet, which is funny to say, but like he didn't have any massive,
Yep.
40-yard bombs down the field. It was 15 yards here, 20 yards here. But I mean, he looked confident. Other than that, interception down there at the end of the half, but that was just kind of one of those things you're pushing the issue to
Okay,
to
I'm
get,
taking it.
get
I'm
yeah.
taking it. I was
I
okay
have
with
no
it.
issue.
It
I have
was
no
right
issue.
at the end of the half. It didn't hurt anything at all. Get that monkey off the back now because that doesn't matter. AD, or I guess he doesn't want to be called AD anymore. I've been told it's Adonai only now. Ever since he came to Texas, he's no longer AD. So he
Well, no,
looked
Sark's
good.
still calling him AD in press conferences. So I think we're all
I don't look at Sark can do that, okay? But I think the first 3 plays directed to him, Ewers looked good, not throwing the deep ball, but he was making the right plays and making good throws in the flats. The 10 to 15 yarders, he looked good, which is what we
Yeah.
want to see coming up through the next week. So I was very happy with the overall result. But I did see this. It was at DKR, Texas offense, 17 drive in the first half, 17 drives, average of 2.29 points per drive with 3.88 yards per play. In the second half, you have 15 drives, 4.13 points per drive, and 6.91 yards per play. We are the exact opposite of what we were last year. Exact opposite.
I mean,
we
I'll
just
take
keep
that over
winning.
last year for sure.
Bro. I mean, that's what, I hear, like, because I was at Buford's, I hear the rumblings of the Texas fans at the beginning of the game. How are we behind? How are we behind? It's like, guys, like, this is going to be slow and steady. Now, I think Sark, so let's move on to next week because that's all we want to really talk about at this point. Sark's game plan, to me, you can go 2 different fold. I think he still takes the Alabama approach and just goes. Like 4th downs, whatever it is, we're going. Or we go solid running game and just establish that right off the bat. He wants to expose this OU defense, I feel like, immediately. And I think the run game starting out is what's really going to do that. I think they're expecting the long ball right in the beginning, which will probably happen after probably 3 or 4 run plays. I think that's the way we're going to start, but I don't know because Sark has held his cards to his chest this whole time, and we're about to see every card this game.
Yeah, I agree. Offensive wise, I totally agree with that game plan. I was looking at their defense today and just trying to get a grasp on that or their offense. I'm sorry. Dude, they have a terrible running game. And our D line against them, I'm really curious if we're able to just play our safeties back and really defend the pass and just let them try to run and just eat them up that way. I hope that's the game plan going in for it, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I'm hoping that we're establish that run game because I feel like that opens up so much for Quinn. He looks so much more comfortable when we establish that run game because there was a couple of games this year where we didn't really establish it, and you could see he just looks a little shaky at times. But off that play action in this last game was huge. So, and historically, whoever outrushes each other in Texas OU wins almost. I think it's 95% of the time. So that's huge in this game. Is who's going to establish the run game, who's going to control that clock. I mean, it feels like this is going to be a kind of a running defensive type battle, in my opinion. But I mean, we'll get to the predictions here later on. But it's just hard to know with OU because like we said, we really haven't seen them at full strength versus a super quality opponent.
Well, this is the one thing when I watched OU play last week, or I guess, yeah, it was last week. I noticed that their running backs are physical. Like they'll run somebody over.
Yeah, they're
Um,
big dudes.
that's what's scaring me about. That's the only thing that scares me about Texas defense right now, is it's difficult for us to make like an open field tackle. Like if you watch the Alabama game, You watch the Wyoming game with that first long drive that they had. It's because we couldn't make the open field tackles, and we have 3 or 4 guys around it. That's the only thing I think that can beat us against Oklahoma because everything else seems to be on par. Yes, they're going to try and throw the deep ball. Yes, they may get 1 or 2 of those, but they're not going to be able to be consistent with that. In order for OU to really win this game is they've got to play defense really well because we're going to outsling them no matter what. If they're not playing the top caliber defense that they possibly could play, we're gonna be able to move the ball on them. You look at the offense that we played; it looked like I think it was 1 or 2 runs to start, and then it was Adonai, and then it was a run, and then it was a drop back to pass, scramble for 30 yards for a touchdown. Like that's the difference is yes, you want to establish a run to get the pass game. The problem for our opponents is once we establish the pass game, then you've got Ewers that can just run the ball. Like there's all kinds of different options that we have now, and you can see that Sark that misdirection. I don't know if you remember that one that he faked the handoff, went for the screen, and then turned right back. No, this was back.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
And then flipped the field and threw it right to Brooks on the backside. Like it's stuff like that that's going to be really really interesting to see, and we're going to see a lot of trick stuff. I think we see Worthy throw a pass. Mark that down as your over 0.5 passes for Worthy. It's going to be a good game. If it goes the way I think, it'll be a good game in the first half, maybe. I just don't see Oklahoma has never played this season anywhere close to a caliber team of Texas, even a bad caliber.
Yeah. It's hard. Like when you look at their stat lines and everything, it's hard to wrap your head around that just because they've been an offensive juggernaut so far. I think they're ranked number 7 as far as passing offense. And it's a lot of really impressive numbers, but then just against who? You're not going up against any highly rated talent. So this game's had me nervous a lot just thinking about it, but once you dive in a little bit deeper, it calms me down a little bit to think. I trust our defense. I mean, I'm nervous about getting Watts back, but I trust our defense, and I really think it's going to give them something to really ponder. And I agree with you. I think the first half, we're just going to be some dicey moments when we get a little bit nervous, but second half, I think Texas pulls it out. We just have a lot bigger bodies on both sides of the line, and I really trust our DBs to really hold up against their passing offense.
Yeah, fingers crossed that Sanders is able to go. I know that Sark said, he's day to day. I mean, that was a guy that got hurt early last week, and we still looked fine without him. But there was some times where Gunnar Helman there just quite doesn't stretch the field like a Sanders does. So hopefully we have him ready to go because he would be a game changer. I feel like he was last year, and I see it being the same thing the next year or this year rather.
Yeah. Have y'all heard about Hudson yet? What's his status? Have y'all heard that?
I saw an update the other day, but I didn't read it.
Yeah, I haven't seen any updates recently.
I know that they were talking about him coming back next week, but I haven't seen what that looks like to see if he's going to be back. But we'll see. It's a big week.
Did you guys see Aaron Rodgers walking on the sideline last night?
No,
2 weeks post surgery.
Yeah.
What in the world?
Yeah, that was pretty crazy. I saw the highlight of that, and they were like, they're usually like 4 to 6 weeks before they're really able to put weight after a surgery like that. And he was like actually walking on it. It's like he was barely using those crutches. It's crazy.
That's crazy. Let's talk about. You want to do predictions now, or you want to wait to the end?
Let's wait till the end.
Yeah, let's wait. Let's talk about the games, other games that happened across. The one that sticks out is that Baylor game. Oh, that
was the biggest comeback in school history or something like that? Big 12?
Yeah, I was sitting there on the way home, and I look, and I went, wait a minute, what happened there? They scored 24 unanswered points in the fourth quarter to come back and win it. That was Wild.
That's crazy.
Dude, that's crazy too. I don't know if y'all saw that play by UCF too on that last drive.
Yes.
Where he scrambled back like all the way to his own goal line. I mean, 30 yards behind the line of scrimmage, somehow got it up on 4th down and was able to get the first down. I mean, they still lost, but everybody was talking about that play. Like, good grief, dude.
Yeah.
It was wild. I think the big one, looking at this was Kentucky. I didn't see that coming.
Yeah.
Kentucky was just going to dominate Florida the way they did in that game. I mean, they truly dominated that entire game.
Florida just looks so bad. Like, I haven't seen anything that impresses me with them.
It's tough with them, dude, because then they beat Tennessee, and you think that, like, oh, maybe they got some things going for them, and then they looked flat. I mean, they looked like the same team that they played Utah to start the year,
Yeah. I didn't watch many games just because I was at the game, but ended up going out afterwards and watching the Ole Miss LSU game, and man, that one was a lot of fun. I was watching that with Jaron, who's an Ole Miss grad, and we were going crazy. I don't think the rest of the bar cared at all, but we were going crazy about that.
Oh, I
finish. It was great.
saw him out there.
Did you?
Yeah, I saw him. He told me you were coming out there. I was like, I gotta go home. I've got to go. I don't stay on 6th Street after dark. I can tell you that. Alabama beats Mississippi State. Duke. Oof.
Yeah, that was tough.
That was a brutal loss there.
Yeah.
That was a last minute deal, right? I didn't get to catch the very end of it, but I know they were close the whole time.
21-14
Yeah,
was the
Notre
final.
It was
Notre Dame
21-14,
scored
yeah.
with like 30 seconds left in the
That's
game.
what
It
it
was
was, yeah.
Duke was
And-
up 14-13 at that point too.
Yeah, they went for
So they-
2.
So they went for 2 to get it. And then Leonard, the Duke quarterback, breaking his leg. It's extremely tough. That's extremely tough. But I don't know if y'all saw, it was pretty cool by Hartman. Rather
Yeah.
than going to the locker room celebrating with his teammates, he stood over there and
Yeah.
waited until he got out of the tent to shake his hand and tell him good game, which was cool to see. Hartman seems like a good dude. Notre Dame just getting by in that game though. I mean, that was a tough game for them.
Yeah, they're going to have to come away with a couple more impressive wins and probably need some help up to the top in order for them to be. They're still playoff contenders, but they're going to need some help, I think.
Yeah, and then
Would you guys-
I don't know. I was about to say, I don't know if y'all saw the Georgia game. I mean, TJ kind of called that. We called him crazy for saying Auburn was going to give him a handful, but they truly did give him a handful in that game. That was a lot tighter than anticipated. The final score was 27-20 Georgia.
Georgia cannot play in the first half. It's
No.
wild. And I don't understand what it is, but they just can't play in the first half. And it's not like Texas not playing in the first half. Like they're letting everybody beat them in the first half.
Yeah.
And
I saw that
here
come
pretty-
across the board and I had to pull it up on my phone while I was in the stadium because
Yep.
like this is a lot more interesting than our game right now. I was such an Auburn fan right then.
Oh, yeah, well, that's the thing is it's funny. We're screaming Auburn, and they're like, he's not even on the field, dude. We're like, no, we're watching the other game. But yeah, we were watching both of them. They just, man, I know they weren't at Georgia, but at the same time, like Georgia's not going to be undefeated this season. I can tell you that right now. Before they even get to the conference,
They're
finals.
beatable.
Coming for them.
Like
They're
they're
beatable for
definitely
sure.
beatable. And Bama and Georgia plays before the conference, right? I believe they
No,
No, they don't.
no, Georgia's.
Oh, that's right.
schedule
Georgia doesn't
is
have anything.
easy, dude.
I think they've got Tennessee.
I mean, not easy.
They're playing
but-
Kentucky
Ooh.
next. That's
Oh,
the one
they
that I
got-
thought might really be it.
Oh,
Yeah, that's the next game for them, which is interesting. It is in Georgia, though. They do play in the swamp. Maybe something
no.
pulls
Yeah.
out the swamp. They do
Well,
play
you
Ole
never
Miss as
know.
well.
but
I mean,
Ole
I feel like
Miss,
Florida plays. Yeah, Ole Miss.
Ole Miss
maybe.
could do it. That
Yeah.
could definitely be the one.
Ole Miss falls flat last week versus Alabama's defense, and then just goes off in a shootout versus LSU.
Yep.
I love it.
LSU is like so hit and miss right now. Now they played
Yeah.
close, and they scored a lot of points.
Bizarre
they-
team for sure.
They started out with all this big talk about, hey, they're going to go to the playoffs and all this, and then they lose the first one, and then who did they lose to? It was Florida State. Yeah. So they play their first big game of the season right out of the gates, and then kind of go up and down, up and down. So LSU could be a good football team. They just can't put it all together right now. It's
For
very-
sure.
What'd
I
you
mean, it
guys think
wouldn't-
of the USC Colorado game?
Yep, that's where I was.
I was about to
going
say
next.
it wouldn't be a college
Yep.
football podcast without bringing up Dion,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah.
How did they come back, dude? They were
Dude.
getting.
USC's
Getting
defense is
demolished.
trash.
Yeah.
Oh yes, and that's the thing. Like that's where
Absolute
USC
trash.
is going to get in trouble. Like anybody that if we played USC, I think we contain Williams, and we definitely run all over them.
Yeah. They definitely got exposed big time in that second half. Because, I mean, they came to the season with playoff hopes, and everybody was talking about how great they were going to be. And I mean, I feel like they've slowly, chipped away at that reputation. And then this, all of a sudden, just okay, they're not nearly what I thought they were. I think
Yeah.
Washington and Oregon run that right now.
I was about to say it would be interesting to see because we got one more week of USC. I think they play Arizona this next week, but then they have a slate where I know they play Notre Dame, Utah, Washington, and Oregon. I mean, so we're really going to get a true feel for that team, which Washington was one of those teams that had been dominant all year, and then they played a really close game. I don't know if y'all saw that, but they played a really close game with Arizona last week and only won by a touchdown. So that was kind of a strange because Washington's really looked good all year and kind of stumbled a little bit against Arizona. But
Watch West Coast games, dude. I'm so sick of West Coast games. Stop starting a game at 9:00.
Yeah.
I've got a
Pac-12 's good
bedtime.
this
I was
year,
about to
man.
say Pac-12 at night, dude. You don't
Yeah,
like
dude.
it?
It's brutal. Let's look ahead to next week. So we've got morning slate. By the way, did you guys see the SEC commission is coming to his first ever Red River game this weekend?
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
And the Big 12 commissioner is not going to be there.
And he's not going to be there.
Really?
And the SEC commission, I'm
Yeah.
going to tell you this right now. He is going to push for next year, going forward, a 2:30 game. You've got
Absolutely.
that CBS 2:30 game. It's always prime. Welcome back to 2:30 Texas OU, because that's what's going to be happening. I'm calling it
Yeah, I
right now.
agree.
I love it.
I totally meant to bring that up earlier, man. I was reading that today,
Yeah.
and they asked the Big 12 commissioner about it and stuff. He was just like, he said he already had another game lined up.
Oh, yeah.
it was already planned.
Let's see
They
which
were
one
like-
it is. Hold on.
He's going to Tech. Is it Tech Baylor? Is that?
course
Oh,
he is.
God. Baylor's going to mop the floor. That
So-
line is even.
Yeah, the line's even on that.
Interesting.
Where are they playing?
Baylor, Texas Tech.
Is it
It's in
where?
Waco, right?
It's in Baylor, yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, I
57
thought
and
that
a half is the over under. I would take the over on that all day long.
Dude, I don't know. I feel like they are pretty even.
I mean, I guess the problem. So I looked at what did they play? Who did they play last week? West Virginia? Who did they
Texas
play?
Tech.
Oh no, they played Houston. They were 28-28 for the longest time. Then all of a sudden I glance, and then it's all of a sudden 49-28. So Houston played close with Texas Tech for a while. And Houston is garbage. Texas Tech is garbage. Let's just be real here and call a spade a spade. But I'm picking Baylor in that game, and I'm taking the over.
Wow.
That's not
Yeah,
my
they did.
official. That's not my official pick, by the way. I'm just saying that's what.
Just throwing
if
it out
I
there.
were doing that.
Yeah, they asked the commission, the Big 12 commission about it, and they asked him about the SEC commission coming into the game. He said, "Well, that's his future, so he should be there."
I mean, it makes sense.
And
he
which
also
which
looks
which
like
it makes
a
sense,
fancy-
but it also makes sense for you to go to the last Big 12 matchup between Texas
Mhm.
OU.
Yeah.
It seems
Yeah,
a little.
He seems to show up to all the games that he thinks OU or Texas is going to lose to so far, and hasn't happened yet. So he was guaranteed for one of them to lose this week. So
Yeah.
There you go.
um, I think he knows that Texas is really good this year, and Oklahoma and Texas are going to be in the Big 12 championship. Like I think he knows, and he does not like it
Yeah,
at all.
it's going to
Yeah.
take something pretty crazy for that not to be the case.
Yep.
I mean, there's not really another Big 12 team that looks like they're going to have, they're going to have at least two conference losses, so.
Well, what's going to happen is whoever loses this game next weekend will have the hangover game. I think our game after this, if we were to win next week, would be K-State. That's the only other one I'm looking at.
Yeah.
And that's the only other one. Everything else, it is just, hey, we're showing up to play and get ready.
Yeah.
But that's the only other one.
How about,
Because we got a bye week. I was going to say we have a bye week after Texas OU, so we have a week off before we go and play Houston at Houston, which is super nice to have that bye week after Texas OU.
Yeah, paid attention to West Virginia at all?
Yeah, dude.
We were talking about them as Neil Brown hot seat being the season. Now they're 4-1.
Yeah,
bro, they're playing really well.
Dude, saved his job for sure.
You got Ohio State's playing Maryland. That will be a close game, I think.
Interesting game for sure. You got Tua's brother over there doing his thing right now, man. Maryland looks good.
That's 19.5. I don't take Ohio State in that game.
Yeah, I agree with you.
I do not.
Thought about that when you walked away earlier. I was like, I don't know about this one, man.
It might be upset alert time, boys.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Ohio against the world.
Yeah.
What about LSU going and playing Missouri? That's an interesting game with Missouri being 5-0 to start the year. Look decent. And, I guess this is one of those things. What LSU team are we going to get?
Yeah.
I think Missouri just gets put back in their place, gets put back in the corner, and LSU beats them, and then LSU goes back and loses the week after, whoever they're playing. That's what I think is going to happen. I think Missouri's played well, but their big win so far was what was it? OK State.
K-State, yeah.
Yeah, or K-State. That's right. Yeah, I mean, no, Missouri's not winning that game. No.
Another big game down there in College Station.
Yeah. This is their Super Bowl every year. I was talking to my buddy Mark yesterday, actually, and we were talking about, I was like, dude, we're talking about Texas and how all the teams, this is their Super Bowl. We're like, every team wants to beat us, and that's the one team. And he's like, no, it's not like that. I was like, okay, Alabama. If I say that, is that your Super Bowl? He's like, yeah, basically. That's the team that they, no matter what their record is, if they're 0-70, as long as they're playing Alabama and they win, just like Johnny Manziel time, you're on the map for A&M. And A&M is playing well. They played well against Arkansas. That will be an interesting game. Alabama's 2.5 at A&M. You're about to see the actual product of Jimbo Fisher and Bobby Petrino. You're going to actually see what they're made of now. I don't know how to call that game.
Yeah, it's an interesting matchup for sure. It seems like it'll be close in the first half, but it just feels like Alabama defense is just going to wear them down over the game, in my opinion. Seth, you look like you got something to say.
I know he is ready.
Put it out.
No, everything I was gonna say would not be okay to say. It was just pure hate. But I don't trust A&M at all. I don't think they've built any consistency so far. It's only second week of what's his name is Max. What's their quarterback's name? Their backup quarterback, Max Johnson. Yeah, only his second week in the system. Alabama really seems like they've got their momentum going now. They've kind of found their identity. My money's on Alabama for sure. It's definitely A&M has a chance there at home. One of the best home field experiences in the country. But I don't trust them at all. And I'm going to be saying roll title out that game.
I'm sorry, what? I guess we can do that if we beat them.
That's the last thing we want as Texas fans. We don't want to have A&M beat Bama the same year that we beat them. I know we beat them in Tuscaloosa and they're playing in College Station. It's a big difference, but it's the last thing we want as Texas fans to have A&M being, oh yeah, we beat Bama too. We beat Bama too.
Yeah.
It's not their time, man.
Yep. What other games we got? Michigan, Minnesota. Okay. Here's my upset alert. I called this last
Really?
week.
Minnesota's garbage.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying. I think it'll be close. I think they cover for sure. I think I'm calling that they cover for sure.
I mean, I'd love to see it.
19 and a half. Notre Dame against Louisville. Notre Dame's 6.5 there at Louisville. Ole Miss, Arkansas.
That could be interesting, but Arkansas really didn't look good versus A&M. So
USC, Arizona. USC's 21 and a half. There's a lot of I don't know. It's like the morning. Let's see. So the morning games. So I'll be looking at the Longhorn game, and then 2:30 the Bama Texas A&M game. Cuse versus North Carolina will be a decent game. Kentucky Georgia at 6. Those are going to be the big ones. And in Minnesota, so a lot of the night games will be the bigger teams, not necessarily playing big opponents, but.
Yeah, Georgia, Kentucky is that main. I feel like night game slot. They're really pushing the Michigan, Minnesota game, but I don't know. It just doesn't intrigue me.
There's a reason. I'm telling you, upset alert.
Yeah.
And then let's see, Kansas, UCF, Iowa State, TCU. A lot of boring games this week. Kansas State and Oklahoma State. A lot of boring games. All right, so before we get to pick them, I need to talk about something real quick. This is going to be the baseball portion of the segments. And yes, of course, the Rangers gave away the division. I know because my Facebook and my Twitter and my Instagram are blown up with Astros fans. And here's the problem, Astros fans. Number one, we're still in the playoffs. You guys thought we were going to be in 4th place. You didn't even think we were actually going to be there. What are we doing? You weren't playing great baseball this year. You hate your manager. You hate the way that your team is run right now, but you're all over social media now. I need you guys to understand that here's the problem. Houston fans in general hate the Dallas Cowboys and the Dallas Cowboys fans. Okay, follow me here. They hate the fans.
What hat are you wearing there, John? What hat is that?
The Texans. Yeah, don't worry. This is he'll understand this and he'll agree with it, but he's also a Ranger fan. But Houston hates Dallas Cowboys fans with a passion. I've been at Texas games where they cheer more for them showing the Cowboys losing at the game on the scoreboard than their own team in the stadium. It has absolutely happened. So don't tell me there's not a hate for the Dallas Cowboys. What's happened is the Dallas Cowboys are good. Guess what? We can't talk trash to the Cowboys fans. So what do we got to do? The Rangers are in Dallas. That's who we're going to talk trash to. And you have now, Astros fans, turned into worse than Cowboys fans. What I have seen on social media, I get gloating and all that trash talk. I understand. But when you go after Emily Jones with the Texas Rangers, if you don't know who Emily Jones is, she has been with the Rangers as the field reporter for 15 years at least. And has been there from the beginning of the trash days in 2009, right before the Rangers started the playoffs. She's been there. Astros fans sought her out on Twitter and made sure to talk as much absolute trash to her for zero reason, only because she's associated with the Rangers. She had to delete her Twitter because she was getting so much hate mail in her message box. What are you doing? I get you're excited. I get you want to talk trash, but we're going to need to tone it down a notch. Because guess what? You haven't won anything. You're not in the World Series. You're not even in the championship yet for the league. So you take care of business. We're going, I think it's going to be 2-1. I think the series is going to be tied, and we're going to go to 3 games. Okay. Then we go to Baltimore. Baltimore's team is too young and inexperienced. Yes, they're good, but they're too young and inexperienced, and we're going to shell them. It's going to be an outslug with the Baltimore Orioles. And then we get to the championship for the American League. Astros better figure out how to actually get there also, because right now their team is in shambles. They hate their manager. They know he's going to outmanage himself. You may not even see us in the playoffs again. So before you start pointing everything, that division series banner doesn't mean a thing. Take a hike. We'll see you hopefully in a couple rounds. All right, I'm done. I'm so sick of it, dude. It is unbelievable to hate. Now, don't get me wrong. I dish it out, and that's fine. But there are people that are tagging me that I didn't even know were Astros fans. And it's like, oh, this is how it's going to be. Okay. All right. Well, here we go. Buckle up, because we start tomorrow, 2:00, and I'll be watching the games. So I'm off my
chirpy like 2 weeks ago. It's coming back to you, man.
Who, me? No, that's fine. Don't get me wrong. I'll get chirpy. But they all thought we were going to. All I saw on the Rangers Facebook page were Astros fans. It was flooded with Astros fans. You guys are going to get swept. You're going to get swept. You're going to get swept. You're not even going to make the playoffs. You're not going to make the playoffs. Now we made the playoffs. So guess what? Our rebuilding year is faster than you guys thought it was going to be, because I looked. 2015, you had 50 wins in a season. That's about the same product that we had, and we're already ahead of schedule. So get ready, because the next few years, the track that the Rangers are on, y'all are in deep trouble and you know it. So get your trash cans out this season, because you're going to need them. All right, I'm off this rant. I
was trying to Google everything so I could understand, because I'm so clueless when it comes to all of that.
Dude, you should live stream during the game.
Yeah. I know.
I would watch you watching the game.
If we make it to the ALDS and we get to a weekend where I'm not working, then I will absolutely live stream. The problem is the Rangers always get shafted with playoff games. It doesn't matter. We're always going to be a 12 o'clock or a 1 o'clock or a 2 o'clock game. We do not get primetime games whatsoever. Yeah. It's disgusting. So
Rangers versus the world, man.
Yep, it is. It is. I'm ready. And just to be clear, Ranger fans are just as bad right now. On the Facebook page, the same people are just moaning and groaning about every single thing. One guy goes, "How come the ball's going right down the middle and you don't swing at that, but when it's outside of the plate, you decide to go swinging at that?" It's like, bro, have you ever tried to hit a baseball at the millimeters of seconds that you actually have to hit it? Like it is not an easy game. Don't be in the coaching box. Sit outside as a fan. Enjoy the ride. We were not supposed to be here this season. Shut up and enjoy baseball. I'm tired of the woe is me Ranger attitude of, yes, I know what happened in the World Series in 2011. I know. I was there in right field to watch Nelson Cruz's lazy butt miss the fly ball. There's a time and place to get past and get behind your team, and now is the time. Show up to the game. Hey, Rays fans, I'm not talking to anybody because it's $30 for a playoff ticket right now in Tampa, so I'm not even actually talking to Rays fans because there are none. But figure out how to fill your stadium up, okay? That's going to be our advantage, because a lot of Ranger fans just figured that out, and they're going to go buy tickets for the playoff game over there. It's $30 to go to a playoff game over there right now.
That's wild. That's wild.
Yeah, you can buy over 15 tickets to a playoff game there, and that gets you 1 ticket to the Texas OU game. So, off my soapbox, but I think the Rangers pitching is looking good. That's the one thing I took out of the last 2 games is the pitching is starting to fire. Our offense, there's not a problem with the offense. Yes, people have slumps. But we did this a month ago where we had a few games where we hit a slump in the batter's box, and then we came out guns a-blazing. And once the lights come on, we have a lot of veterans that are going to they're going to produce, and we're going to score a bunch of runs. And the Rays can score a bunch of runs. I believe they were second in the American League this year for runs. They were right there with us the entire time in the half of the season. So they can hit the baseball as well. However, I think the Rangers pitching is going to step up. Dane Dunning has looked great. This is going to be an interesting series, but I think Rangers take care of business here and move right on to Baltimore.
I'm about it, man. It's gonna come down to that bullpen. Can the bullpen do what they need to do? It's
That's
been our
it.
Achilles heel all year. So, are they going to actually show up and do what they need to do? Which, I mean, it helps going into the postseason because you got some guys that are normal starters that may come in and relief, going forward. So that helps a little bit. But I mean, that's going to be the key. I mean, that's the most inconsistent part of the team all year.
And maybe Scherzer next series.
Hopefully.
We get through the first series, maybe Scherzer. So we'll see.
Yeah, that's what they're saying.
Yeah. Okay. That's baseball talk. Eventually, just so everyone knows, and I'll probably end up starting to do it here pretty soon because it is playoff season. I'll probably on Thursdays just do a quick little update on where we're at. That'll be a recap for the series that we're at. Talk about the next series because we're going to win the first one, and then we'll go from there. It'll be off the rails segment on Thursdays. You guys are welcome to join if you want to. We're going to talk random stuff, everything outside of college football. Cowboys, Cowboys dominated Belichick. Dominated Belichick.
Yeah, they look pretty good.
They looked good for sure. Texans look good too, man. I mean,
the
taking it to Pittsburgh.
Yeah, the Texans. What did they? I mean,
they're figuring things out a little bit, man. Finally got some hope.
I think
looks good.
The problem with so for the Cowboys, the defense looks good. We still don't know what the offense is because the defense is scoring so many touchdowns. We don't need to score anymore.
Yeah, dude, Dak hasn't been it for me in fantasy. He's just been average, very average. It's like, cool, I'm going to get 22 points from Dak.
Yeah, that Dallas defense got me 37.
Jeez.
That Dallas defense is going off. Oh, which this year, or this week I won with that in another league. That defense is going off in points. It's unbelievable what the Dallas defense is putting up. But yeah,
not L to Seth in fantasy this week.
Yeah,
and
you took the L last week to me on the other league.
I know
that league doesn't really count, but still, I mean, you just speaking of, you're 1-5 and pick them in the last 2 weeks. Speaking of, let's do that. Pick'ems. So last week, Seth went 3-0. I went 1-1 last week, and Jono went 1-5. Yikes! the Bears of Pick'em. All right, so we're gonna give you the fair shots, and you get to go first on your picks of the week. Okay, softballs.
I like it. My first one I'm just gonna keep going with the upsets. This is gonna be my demise. I know it is, but I'm gonna go Wyoming over Fresno. I'm gonna go Wyoming over Fresno. We've seen what Wyoming's about. It's a gritty, hard fought team. They played us well. That game is gonna be in Cheyenne. It's gonna be a night game. It's gonna be rowdy there. I think they pull off the upset, maybe storm the field afterwards. So I'm going Wyoming there.
Don't get the
storm.
storm.
I gotta find a new one.
Yeah, you go find a new one. You gotta scramble now.
Storm the field.
I'll take
out there.
I'll also take Marshall over North Carolina State. I don't know if anybody's been paying attention to Marshall this year, but Marshall's
no one's paying attention to Marshall or NC State, dude. No,
big Marshall guy.
Yeah,
dude.
What's that movie
to start the year?
What movie is Marshall? Yeah. Oh yeah, that one. Okay, there it is. Yeah, that's all I know about that football team, and I don't even know the name of the movie.
Isn't that about a high school football team called Marshall?
Is that what it is?
No, that was college.
No,
was
yeah.
college.
Oh, was it college? Okay.
Yeah, I think didn't the team die in the plane crash or something?
Yeah, the plane crashed and the coach had to take over. It's actually a great movie. You should watch it sometime. But I'm gonna take Marshall. Marshall is underdog by 6.5 points versus NC State.
Okay.
But I'm gonna take Marshall, the 4-0 Thundering Herd.
Oh boy! All
And
right,
then
so no, hold on. So the Colorado Buffaloes annoys me to no end.
Why?
Preach.
It's not a buffalo. A buffalo is in Africa. The only thing that resembles what everyone thinks is a buffalo is actually just a bison. Does everyone understand this from now on? Okay.
You really want to be that
Buffaloes are not. Yes. And they call the bison that they know is a bison Buff the Buffalo. It's a bison. Okay. It's not a buffalo. We need to be non ignorant about what we call our mascots. Okay. It's been
So-
bothering me for a long time. I've been seeing the Colorado stuff. I went to Harding University, home of the bison. The other debate is plural? Is it bison or bisons? And no one can ever figure it out.
What about the Buffalo Bills? Does that bother you?
No, because that's Buffalo, New York.
But their mascot's a buffalo.
No, it's not. Their mascot's a bill.
Their logo
bill?
is the buffalo.
They don't call it the buffalo, though. They call it a bison. It's
Do they
Buffalo,
really?
New York, dude. The front end
Yeah,
is
I know
the city. Is it a buffalo wing? Is it a
It's
bison wing?
Buffalo Bills.
Are we going bison
and
wing
their
here?
Logo is a buffalo.
Their logo is a bison.
No, it's buffalo.
This is my point. And I
just
think that's
Googled
actually the one that
buffalo.
Yeah, Google an actual animal of a buffalo.
Yeah, tons of American buffalo are showing up right here.
It's not an American buffalo. Define buffalo. We're about to do this right now. Okay. As a matter of fact, hold on. Define buffalo. And we're gonna go to yep.
He already has like his source he knew he wanted to use.
No, I'm gonna show you right now. All right. We're gonna show everybody in the world right here. All right. Let's see here.
I don't care what you find, I'm still gonna always call him buffalo.
That's fine. Define buffalo. Okay. Look, that's a bison, a heavily built wild ox with backswept horns. That's the backswept horns, not this. The beard is a
Can you make
bison.
that bigger?
Maybe. Dang it.
That did nothing.
That
There you go.
is a bison. Look, black bison. Let's see. Let's find it's basically what you call a water buffalo is just what a buffalo is. Okay? Just so we're all clear on this. The Buffalo Bills are in Buffalo, New York. It's a bison. So I just ruined all of the Buffalo Bills fans just now, and hopefully they're all watching.
I still think they're buffaloes, man. I don't know.
I guarantee you. You find the research and you show me at all where what we call buffaloes are actual buffaloes. I don't care if it's Dancing with Wolves, fake. It's not a buffalo. Indians call them buffaloes, but they're not buffaloes because they look like buffaloes. Water buffaloes.
I'm gonna need Seth to put together a PowerPoint.
Presentation.
presentation next
Yes.
week.
Yes. We're gonna do that. All right, so that's done. What's your third pick?
I didn't think the Thundering Herd was gonna spark up.
Yeah, I heard it,
the
and I just
conversation there.
it lit me up.
The last one I got, I like Maryland to cover that with Ohio State. I mean, that's 19.5-point favorite for Ohio State. I think that game's going to be really close.
Cherry picking. That's fine.
I
I mean, I told you that before, but it's fine.
I need one. I
know.
one.
Well, trust me, you need more than one.
I get there. It's a long season. But no, I think Maryland's going to play them tough. I think it's a game that's, kind of sneaky for Ohio State. It might be one of those games that they're kind of hung over from the wins they've had recently, and Maryland comes in there that's been playing really well. So, but those are my three. Those are what I got. We'll see if I do a little bit better than 0-3 there.
Nice. Well, let's all hope. Okay. Seth, what you got?
Okay.
I know you're scrambling because it got taken away from you.
Oh, I already did that. I was still looking into Buffalo facts.
Got it.
First one, I'm gonna go with Missouri. I'm gonna do it. You were talking crap earlier.
Wow.
But I'm
Ooh.
gonna take Missouri, just straight up. They're at home. I do think that they're not an amazing team, but I'm gonna give them the credit and see what happens. That's my dog pick.
Boy, what a pick. They're terrible, but I'm gonna go ahead and pick them anyway.
Gotta have those betting odds, man. That's my
Yeah.
dog. Then I was gonna go Wyoming, but Jono stole it. So secondary, I'm gonna take Syracuse over North Carolina. That
Wow.
one straight up also.
Mac Brown hater.
Over Mac?
Yeah, dude,
Dang.
I've talked to y'all about this. I'm not the biggest Mac guy. I know y'all hate
Yeah,
me.
I
for
know.
that.
Shocker.
I know.
I'm so sorry. The only guy that's won us a championship, but plus 8.5.
No, I'm taking them straight up. I don't believe in the point.
Oh, you said I don't need the points. Okay.
And then I'm gonna do Old Miss to cover against Arkansas.
Okay. Ole Miss is -11.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So
She got Teach.
I've got Texas by 1,000,000. I am going to be that guy. I'm taking Texas -6.5.
I mean, that already goes for all of us.
Okay. Well, no, that's not the pick. Yeah, you want them to win, but you aren't ballsy enough to pick them.
Oh, okay.
I thought it was
I
a gimme
think-
game. I didn't
Look
know.
at
I didn't
what
know.
a
that's
homer.
fine. Listen, if we're doing that, then I'll do
I'm
it a
just
parlay, a 2-game parlay here. All right, we're going to
Okay.
tickle your fancy. We're going -6.5. We're going the over 60.5.
I like it.
Okay.
I like
Last
it.
year the under hit. This year the over hits. Not that I remember because I won last year too. So 60.5. So it's a parlay. Okay, so both have to hit.
Okay.
That way.
I'm actually writing it down this week, guys.
Yeah, me
Good
too.
job.
Don't worry, I'm backing you up right now. Tired of going back through. My next one will be Kentucky plus 14.5. I want to get real ballsy, but I'm not going to do it just for the sake of making sure I don't hit rock bottom here.
You don't want to take Minnesota?
plus 14.5. I'm not there yet. Hold on. I thought, did John not take it? Oh no, he took Maryland. Okay. And then I'm 1,000%. Yeah. 14.5.
Okay.
I mean, plus 14.5 against Georgia.
Yeah.
Georgia, I don't know that Georgia's covered but like 1 or 2 games. And then
Georgia's on upset alert.
I am on this upset alert. I am on Minnesota to cover. Also possibly beat Michigan. I think they were getting sloppy against Nebraska, and they're so excited that they finally put a bunch of points on the board. They're going to come out hungover, and Minnesota is going to be plus 19.5. Those are my 3 picks.
Not bad.
All right.
Not bad.
All right.
Now, let's go ahead and get our score prediction. I feel like we were really close last week. I think I had 21. I have 21 points or 17 points for Kansas. And I had 38, so it was 40-14. I think I had 20. I think I did 38-21 is what I think that's what it was. 38-21. You guys were right around that same area.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah, I
have
think
a clue.
I think I gave Kansas a little bit more. I mean, I just thought that offense was going to be at full strength, so that kind of threw it off a little bit.
What's your picks this week?
Score prediction?
Yeah.
Score prediction.
I'm obviously going to take Texas. I think it's going to be a shootout. Well, I mean, we discussed it earlier. If their run game really is efficient, it might not be as big of a shootout as I think. But I still think it's going to be pretty high scoring. I'm going to go 40, 49, 49-38, Texas.
Ooh.
Wow.
Okay.
I'll
Jono.
go. I'll go Texas. I'll go Texas 37. Couple field goals for Auburn there. I got faith. And then I'll go OU 24. 37-24 Texas.
Not the shootout.
37-24.
I don't think it's
Okay.
going to be a big shootout. I think it may be a little gritty.
I would like that.
All right, so I'm going. It's going to be 52-21, boys.
I love it.
It's going to be a absolute slaughter. We will not hold up this year again. Oklahoma will actually put some points on the board, so we actually have to play the full game this year, maybe, hopefully. OU hasn't seen games like this yet. Texas has been in the Alabama game. They've been in somewhat of a close game in the fourth quarter with Wyoming. Yes, it's Wyoming, but it's just that nitty gritty. That's what we have gotten. Oklahoma hasn't had to experience that at all. When they get to the third and fourth quarter, their starters are already out. I think we run away with it. 52-21. Mark it down. Light the tower.
That's right.
I like it. I like it. I like it.
It's going to be, it's hard for me because I've always been this conservative Texas fan. Like, okay, let's not talk about it. Like, okay, well, let's just see when the game gets here. I'm with the Rangers, with the Longhorns, with the Cowboys. I'm sick of holding back. I am so sick of it because it's not fun to watch that way anymore. I'm ready to enjoy it. I'm not talking a bunch of trash, but I think that Texas is a very good football team right now, and I'm excited to see what they can actually do. It is going to be weird. Like, I was thinking about if I was going to that game this year, what it would be like to interact with OU fans this year. Like, what is that experience going to be? Over under on the first quarter if you hear an SEC chant.
I hope not.
I hope not also. However,
I don't think first quarter.
Big 12. You can't do it in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, that's true.
One team's going to be losing. They're not going to do it.
Yeah.
So
you're right.
It's got to be the first quarter, and you make a statement at the beginning. And I think it happens. I think both teams are fed up with the Big 12. The fans know it. I'm calling SEC chant by the end of the first quarter.
I love it because of the situation and with the commissioner being there and our commissioner not being there. But I've made fun of the SEC for so long for all of them being such bandwagon SEC fans. But I would love to see it in that situation.
Let me be clear. I hate the chant. I think it's the dumbest thing of all time. And I told my buddies this the other day. There's zero chance I'm rooting for an SEC team. Like, I don't care. Like, if we're in bowl games, I'm not rooting for an SEC team. I've never done it with Big 12. We don't do go Big 12. Don't care. Like, it's embarrassing to chant that. The only reason you would actually chant it this time, it makes sense. Hey, screw you, Big 12. We're going to a real conference now that actually wants us to be there, and we can really have competitive football all the time and not having to always hear about, oh, well, you lost to Kansas, you lost to Baylor. Like, your program can only be as good as a competition that you're playing, and we have played some trash competition. So it only makes sense to chant SEC at the beginning of the football game, and then you bury it and never bring it out again.
I like it. Yeah.
I think we have to hold off until the Big 12 commissioner comes to one of our games. And
that will definitely happen also.
Maybe the Texas Tech game at the end of the year, we'll let them know. But
yep, that will definitely happen as well. Because that's the only time it actually makes sense. Chanting SEC at any other football game, like, oh, hey, SEC.
What about the Big 12 championship?
Bro, that may happen.
Awesome. Would be insane.
That would be hilarious.
You know that just it would be so funny if we all just brought SEC flags to the game and flew SEC flags to the Big 12 championship, because that's all amazing. It would be. Like, let's just pay Jerry to hang some banners in the rafters for one game and just hang everything SEC. We'll pay the marketing guy, hey, make sure to put these SEC banners up going around. Still had Dr. Pepper on there. That's fine. Dr. Pepper needs their sponsorship or whatever it is this year. Yeah. But let's just paint that thing SEC for one last time. That would just be fantastic. But, well, I think that's it for today. Exciting week coming up. Rangers baseball tomorrow. Longhorns this weekend. Big game. OU sucks. Don't you forget it. Y'all have a good week. See ya. Hook 'em.
Welcome, y'all.